I think we're live. Welcome to the First Cut Podcast. I'm Rick Gehman, and this is your round two recap for this week's WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational. And joining me to break it all down is a tanned, bearded Greg DuCharme, and I'm here for it. Greg, good to have you.
Hey, it's great to be back. Little bit of time off for me. I let the beard grow a little bit. It's only temporary. I am a little tan, but I think the ambiance in this room enhances it a little bit. So I apologize for the lighting, but I promise on Sunday we're back to normal, back in the office, and everything's back to normal. But I'm very relaxed.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear it. I was a little not relaxed when Jacob typed into the chat right as we were going live that the video intro was messing up, and I was like, I'm assuming we are live right now.
Looks
so
good to me.
We're good.
Yeah, we haven't been called off yet.
Looks good to me.
Either a good sign or a bad sign.
That's right. Halfway home at the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational, and it is Harris English at it again. Follows up his opening round 62 with a 65. He is now 2 shots clear of the next closest competitor, and this is outside of the stretch of golf, Greg, that Harris English played right after he won the Tournament of Champions until right before the U.S. Open. So those 8 starts, he's been phenomenal for 2 straight years outside of those 8 weeks.
Yeah. And he really was, even those 8 weeks, and you had 3 years beforehand where it was really kind of difficult. But what he's doing right now is what great scorers do. When you look at a tournament where 13 under par leads after 2 rounds, you need to make a lot of birdies. It's exactly what Harris has done. And it's because of elite iron play and elite putting. And he has both of those things. So if you look at his numbers between round 1 and round 2, in round 1, he shoots 62 and he puts the eyes out of it. And you might say, well, can that really last? Well, yes, it can. He was 3rd in round 1 in strokes gained approach. Yes. And that carried over to today. He's now 7th strokes gained approach in round 2, which leaves him 2nd for the week total. But he has a much slower putting day. But because of his ball striking, that slow putting day, Rick, turns into a round of 65. So that's not too bad.
The round 2 we saw from Harris English is the exact blueprint he's been doing for basically 2 years, and he's been doing recently with the victory at the Travelers, the 3rd place finish at the U.S. Open. It's basically just gain strokes across the board. Gain strokes off the tee, be a good ball striker, don't lose them around the green, and see if your putter can get hot. I mean, this is the blueprint for Harris English, which is really optimistic when you look for his chances going into the weekend, because now he is twice a winner already this year, Greg. I mean, he is not going to be scared off by the stage or scared off by the moment.
And he's played well in big events. He's played well in both the U.S. Opens that we had this season and in majors, and Century Tournament of Champions had a really strong field this year. So he is definitely familiar with the winner's circle. And that game, I think his game, if he's mentally ready, which everything says he will be, his game suits up. It sets up really well for a leader because it's gain strokes across the board. So if he has a slow putting day, he can make up for it in any other area. If he doesn't hit it great with his irons, he can make up for it in any other area. And it's a really, he's got a strong foundation, which I think bodes really well for Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon nerves. And it gives him a really nice chance going forward.
I'll leave you with one Harris English stat nugget. I can't pass up a stat nugget. This one from Sean Martin. So in Harris English's opening 2 rounds here, 62-65. That's the 2nd lowest opening 2 rounds at a WGC event. The only one better? You might know this guy. His name's Tiger Woods. He shot 64-61 at Firestone in 2000 en route to an 11-shot victory. I don't think Harris English wins this one by 11, but he's off to a good start.
No. Anytime you get a Tiger stat, it's almost like Harris English is the real leader in that. And there's that except Tiger line. Except Tiger.
Tiger. Second best ever, except Tiger. We had to sound the alarm this afternoon. Sound the alarm. A record-breaking opportunity is happening on the PGA Tour. No, we were not on 59 watch, Greg. We were on 17 watch. We were trying to see if Cam Smith could get in the house with 17 putts because he had 16 putts through 17 holes. And of course, no one on the PGA Tour has ever completed a round with 17 or fewer putts. A lot of guys have done 18, and he gave himself a crack at it, Greg. Gave himself a crack. He had a 22-footer on 18. He left it on the amateur side. What an amateur, and tapped in to add his name to the long list of guys who had 18 putts in a round.
And also on 17, he had another opportunity from just off the green. And so when I was playing with a game that we used to play with my friends was a game, we'd call it the monkey. It was a little side action in a match. And the monkey is the last person to 3-putt has to pay us some $5 or something at the end of each 9. Whoever if you 3-putt, you get
the most recent person to 3-putt.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so when you just miss a green on the fringe, the way Cam Smith did all day, we called that monkey management.
That's great.
You're not gonna you're staying away from the monkey at that point.
Yeah, I mean,
Smith monkey managed his way through that round beautifully.
Amazing. This was, to me, this is not a real stat or a real record. I mean, like the record is real. I obviously understand that we can count putts, but the idea of getting credit because you left a bunch of balls on the fringe on your second shot and then took cracks at it, like, it's cool. If you want to look at the strokes gained numbers, which is still kind of like the total putts is flawed because it's a cumulative stat. The strokes gained putting number is a little bit flawed because of the putting stat, but in a round where Cam Smith nearly broke the record for fewest putts in a single round, Abraham Ancer was a better strokes gained putter. So there's some flaws and some quirks here, Greg.
Right. Well, he had four 0-putt greens. He has no opportunity to gain or lose strokes because he makes it from off the green on 4 different occasions. So that hurts the cumulative, potentially hurts the strokes gained putting statistic because it's cumulative. But at the same time, it really helps the total putts. So look, total putts is the cool thing about this round is that he shot 62.
Right.
But it's still,
I buried the lead. He shot a 62 as 8 under was the round of the day.
Right. So it's great play and it all worked, but that statistic, it's cool. I appreciate it, but it doesn't really mean anything.
Still number 1 in monkey management with the way that I look at it. Abraham Ancer shot the other 62 on Friday. It was a bogey-free 62, in fact. And now Abraham Ancer is starting to kind of climb that list of guys that are like, doesn't win enough. Is he ever going to win? When's he going to win? We start talking about wins because he's knocking on the door constantly, Greg. This mega season, this super season, 50 events, we're 6 into them. He has 6 top 10 finishes, 0 victories, still looking for his first PGA Tour victory.
Yeah, and I do think it's around the corner. But there's a lot of things he does that are just so impressive. And this is why you say, well, why isn't the guy winning? He hits 15 greens today, 11 fairways. And it's this typical, he does this all the time. This isn't a unique, he got hot with the driver and started hitting a lot of fairways. He got hot hitting green. He does this almost all the time. He hits fairways and he hits greens and he gives himself a ton of opportunities. And today he leads the field, as you pointed out earlier, Rick, in strokes gained putting. And the result is a really low, around a 62. So he gives himself, because of the ball striking, a lot of opportunities to shoot really low scores like that. I think of him shooting, I think it was 63 at the American Express a couple of years ago. He chased up the leaderboard and nearly caught whoever, I can't think of whoever, maybe Adam Long, maybe someone like that. Anyway, he chased up the board, nearly caught him, and he didn't, but he has that ability. And so I really like that aspect going forward. I like him in an event like this because he can hit fairways and greens. The rough can be a little spotty at times. So he's in a good spot, and I would not be surprised if it happened this week for him.
It was Andrew Landry.
Andrew Landry.
Yeah. Shot 6. Here were his 4 rounds from that American Express: 68, 67, 66, 63. If you keep getting better every round and you open with a 68, ooh, doggy, you are going to be in.
Yeah. You end up right there.
Real quick before we go to break, because we're going to look at the odds from our friends over at Caesars, but I have to vent here, Greg.
Yeah.
This Jordan Spieth guy could have shot like 6 under par on Friday. He did something that I'm not sure I've seen in quite some time. So his tee shot on 18, he lost 1.4 strokes on that shot alone because he hit it into the water. Second day in a row, he's hit it into the water there. He also had an approach shot on 4 that found the water that he lost 1.25 strokes on. And he also had a putt. I repeat, a putt that he lost 1.3 strokes putting on because he putted it off the green. Greg.
Yes.
So,
he chipped it off the green.
Yeah. Well, yes. Okay.
Green.
And then he had to, it was ugly.
It was a mess. 3
swings of the golf club. He lost 4 strokes to the field in 3 swings of the golf club. That is, I'm not sure I've seen anything like that outside of a guy hits the same shot into the water over and over again.
Right. But on different holes, on different occasions,
on different types of shots,
different types of shots.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the chip, I get why he chipped it and it just got away from him. So it's like kind of a tough one to judge. But the tee shot into the water, you cannot hit it into the water left on 18. You can't let yourself do that. You've got to hit less club. You just have to hit less. I prefer less than driver on that hole. Get it to the right-hand side and knock it on the green. But it just doesn't seem like there's a ton to gain from hitting driver there, especially with all the risk that's to the left. And when you do it 2 days in a row, it's really just, even if you do hit driver, get it to the right. Like the right edge of the fairway is the middle, not the middle is not the middle on 18 there. You can't hit it in the water left. So I don't know. It bothers me. But I think of what JT did last year en route to winning when he did not have great control of the driver during that win. And on 18, he hit it way right and was able to make 4. And I'm not saying you got to hit it way right, but way right is better than a little bit left. So it was disappointing.
Very disappointing. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go over to Caesars Sportsbook and we're going to look at the odds and see if we can find some winners on a Friday evening. But first, we're going to take a quick break and hear a word from our partners. And we're back. Caesars Sportsbook. I don't know if I'm allowed to say William Hill anymore, but I just did. Now they're Caesars Sportsbook. So they're still our friends. We haven't moved on. It's just rebranding. Harris English is your favorite, Greg, 3-1. Then a little bit of a gap to the guys in the chase back. Abraham Ancer, Cameron Smith, both 6.5-1. Then a couple of big names, Scotty Scheffler, 7-1, Bryson DeChambeau, 9-1, and Louis Oosthuizen at 10-1. Very interesting board we see here. And then we can even go further if you want, because there are 262s out there on Friday. And if that happens again on Saturday, someone's moving up the leaderboard.
Yeah, that's kind of what I like about Harris English is he played his great round on Thursday. And so even though he played a really nice round today, it's not going to feel like he's got to shoot another great round. Like Abraham Ancer shot and Cam Smith, I think they both shot 67, 62. So they have a great round in round 3, and it feels like I got to play 3 great rounds in a row to end the tournament. Whereas for Harris English, he has this Friday round that's get around. It's a little bit more laid back. You're not chasing in the same way where you have to continue to make birdies. You have a little bit of breathing room. So Harris English can play a little more defense here. Obviously you pay for that. But I like where he sits, especially because of what Abraham Ancer and Cam Smith did on the greens and around the greens today. Although I like Ancer's ball striking tee to green. So I think my favorite number included is Ancer right now. I think English has a real good chance of holding on. And I got another guy a little farther, not pictured here, who I also like.
Ooh, I might have one of those guys as well. So I'm not in love with anything here at the top. I think, most likely scenario, English wins this. We already talked about this isn't going to be a stage too big for him. The metrics are there. I don't particularly want to bet it at 3-1. The one that if you made me bet one of these, it'd be Bryson. He's 9-1, and he's being Bryson. He's gaining 3.5 strokes off the tee, by far the most in the field. He's gaining over 2 strokes on approach, which puts him like 7th or 8th in the field. I mean, he is. This is what he does, and he's kind of just lurking there. I don't have any doubts that he can win golf tournaments. He does it at a prolific rate. So that would be the one that if you made me bet it, it would be Bryson. But you mentioned Going further down the board, I've got 2 names circled a lot further down the board. Where are you going here?
I'm going to the king of Memphis, Daniel Berger. He's at 7 under. So 7 under is a long way back of Harris at 13. But if Harris proves us wrong and comes back, and you consider the real lead to be at 11, which I don't, but if you're sitting at 7 under par right now and you can catch the guys at 11, you have a real good chance. You don't necessarily have to go. If Harris English does what he does, what we expect, you're not going to catch him anyway. You catch the guys at 11, and you can do that if you're sitting at 7 under par, even 6. I don't like it as much, but at 7, you're only 4 shots back of that kind of second wave. And I think Daniel Berger right now, a guy who leads the way in strokes gained approach the green, he's doing what he needs to do off the tee. And he just hasn't done anything on the greens. At least he didn't today. Yesterday, I guess he had a nice day putting, but didn't do anything today. I think he's in a real good spot, especially with his history here.
I've got a guy 7 under as well, but my guy's 66-1. His name is Carlos Ortiz. So Ortiz,
I looked at him too.
The ball striking numbers, he's gaining off the tee nearly a shot and a half. He's gaining on approach over 2.5 shots. He's a 0 putter. He's losing strokes around the green. We've seen him get hot. We've seen him win before. He's the kind of guy that if you go out and shoot something real low on a Saturday, maybe he steals this thing away. So he's 66-1. And the other one, Greg, this might be a bit emotional. Max Homa is 6 under, and he's 100-1. And the things that I look at for, like, are guys going to bounce back? Are they, did they play themselves? Did they play well, or did they get unlucky? These penalty shots, especially around Southwind, where water is kind of lurking everywhere. He birdied 15, 16, 17, found the water on his approach on 18, made double. I don't think his 68, I think he played a lot better than that. And he might just be too far back at this point.
That's the thing. Can he make enough birdies? And you mentioned water's lurking everywhere. That at times that will sneak up. It's more likely to sneak up the farther back you are when you're in this range where you feel like you still have a chance to win, but you got to press a little bit. And that would be my one worry. But I think that number is a little bit too long because he's a winner too. So I like that. But I want to just real quick on Ortiz, because I was thinking about this. I meant to bring this up about Ancer too. Are you worried about the Olympic guys at all? Are they going to run? Are they more likely to run out of gas on these next 2 rounds?
I wondered that too. I wondered if they would already have been tired from the jet lag rounds 1 and 2, and now their bodies are getting acclimated, or it's finally going to catch up to them, and it's going to be a lot of I don't know how it's going to work.
Adrenaline, and now I'm worn out, and it's just eventually I just run out of gas, a little shy. That's the one thing that has me a little worried about Ancer, and I put Ortiz in that category too. So if it's a tiebreaker, if you're looking at the board and you got it, and Cam Smith is right there in the same boat. If you're looking at a tiebreaker, it might be something to consider.
Do you have any idea how old Carlos Ortiz is?
Was he 28?
Okay. I was going to be like, he's 26. He's young. Yeah. He's 30, which I guess is older than I thought he was. But
yeah, I guess he's older than I thought he was too.
I was ready to pull the old, he's fine. He plays a lot of golf. He's 24. Who cares? But
who did he play college? He played at college golf with, at North Texas, I think, with somebody who won recently too.
He did. He went to North Texas. I don't know who that teammate was, though.
Was it? It might have been Sebastian Munoz, but I don't know for sure. Anyway,
North Texas. Well, hold on. Now we can't leave the people hanging here. Let me see if I can quickly find out who this might be. North Texas Golf on PGA Tour. Jacob in the chat believes it's Munoz. The other chat also believes it's Munoz. All right. Then we're going to say it's okay. It is Munoz. Yes. Okay. Munoz and Ortiz. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So anyway, there we go. Another little tidbit.
Got to get a little tidbit. All right. That'll do it for this episode of The First Cut. Be back after rounds 3 and 4, of course, to break it all down. But for now, let me thank producer Jacob, does all the hard work behind the scenes. That right there, it might not look like him. It's a tan. Get a good look. He says he's shaving it. It's going back to normal. That is Greg DuCharme, and it is the real GFD is where you can find him on Twitter. You can find me at Rick Run Good. This has been The First Cut, and we'll catch you next time.